everyone. Tonight we're making chicken chasseur, which is in French chicken hunter style, and what we'll need for that is some chicken, obviously, and we've got the chicken thighs, which are skinless, carrot, celery from our garden. It's a little bit smaller but still very pungent, a brown onion, mushrooms, some bacon, some white wine, some plain flour, some chicken stock, and some tomato paste. All of the information and all of the amounts will be in the description below, and we'll start putting it together now. Yes, so we're back. And what I've done, I've got a nice heavy pot that I'm going to be cooking everything in, and I've put some olive oil in there. And all I've done now is I'm going to take the chicken and I'm going, okay, so what I've got is I've put into a pan, a nice heavy pan that I'm going to be cooking everything in, some olive oil, and I'm simply going to take the chicken and I'm going to seal it in the pan. So then that way, once it's sealed, we will then take it out of the pan, and so I'll do 4 at a time. Yeah, you can cut them if you want to, but I'm just leaving them whole. It's no big deal because I'm going to serve these with mashed potato. So it's going to be a nice meaty dish. So, just seal them a little bit, doesn't have to be long, just so it seals the juices in. And remember, I did have that cup of wine, so just go those mustardized. Sauvignon Blanc, not oxidized, which is good. So I'm going to continue this with my chicken and then we'll come back in a little bit. Now, once that's sealed, I'll pull that out. I want to cook it, I want to seal it. And I'll do the same with the second batch of chicken. And once that's done, we'll come back to it. Okay, and that's the second batch. And they're pretty well sealed as well. It's only taken about a couple of minutes per side because remember, this is all going to cook. All we're doing is sealing it right now. Okay, so then that way that'll hold the juices in. So then what I do, take my chopped bacon, put it in, and I take my washed mushrooms whole, pack them in, and I just want it again, give it a few minutes. Just to sort of give it a little bit of time in there. You can add more bacon if you like. You can have more bacon, but the chasseur recipe calls for bacon, so adds a little bit more oomph. I put about 2 rashers. You can put more or less if you like. And then again, just making sure she's all good. So that the mushrooms are nicely coated, the bacon. I'm going to take this all out now, put it in the same plate as my chicken. I wouldn't worry about it too much because you are going to be cooking this for at least 45 to 50 minutes once you've done the base. So remove all of that straight onto your chicken. Mushrooms are nicely coated. And then we get into the final bit of the preparation, which is the sauce itself. And then we can put all this back in to cook it off. Alright, so now what I've got, I've taken my onion, my carrot and my celery, and I simply chop them up straight into there. Now I'm going to cook this for a couple of minutes just till the onion's starting to soften. Come back to it in a minute. Okay, it's been about 2 or so minutes. Starting to get a little bit of colour. Starting to soften up. Starting to smell very fragrant. Take my 1/4 cup of flour, pour it in, and I want to mix it nicely through, coating everything well. Because this is going to be the thickening agent. This is going to make it nice and thick rather than runny. So just a little bit, because it's going to add a little bit more oil, just so the flour can soak some of it up. You want it almost like a paste. You can add butter. Start with the olive oil, so we'll continue with the olive oil just so it soaks it all up. As you can see there, just taking it in, so the flour's almost disappeared into the commas. Right, it's coated all of the vegetables. I'm going to take my chicken stock and pour it over. I'm going to take my white wine, turn down the heat a little bit. Now it'll cook slow, nice and slow. Okay. And the next thing that I do, take my tomato paste. I'm going to add in a couple of heaped teaspoons. Don't need that on anymore. I'm going to add a little bit more water as well and mix this through. You're going to add a little bit more water again because this is looking nice and thick already, hasn't even started cooking. And if we leave it this thick, it won't be good. So I'm going to go get a bit more wine actually. You can add more water, you can add more stock, but you just want it to be a little bit more on the watery side because this has to cook now for the next 50 minutes. It's going to be cooking on low. Final thing before we pour everything back in, salt and pepper. Need to put your salt and pepper in there. To season it. So I've turned this right down now. Mix it through. As you again, you can see how nice and thick that's looking already. I'm going to take my chicken and back into there with all the juices, with the mushrooms, with the bacon. Make sure it's all in the sauce. And I'm now going to leave this on a low heat for the next 45 to 50 minutes. So I'm going to make my mashed potatoes in the meantime. And dinner will be served. Okay. Now I did forget to mention that you need to cover it. I'm going to put on the smaller hob. So then that way, it's on a nice low heat. It's going to simmer for at least 45 to 50 minutes until it's all nice and thick. And you'll see it then. Pretty much 45 minutes later, this will be ready to serve now. So I've made the mashed potato, I've made the peas and the beans. It's a matter of putting it all together. Bon appetit, smelling awesome, ladies and gentlemen.